Hey guys, Jonah here, back with a New Year's Eve beer review. And I've delved into my Vocation box again, and I found this one, and it's sort of like one I've done recently in the box, the winter box, the box of the year, because it's part of the volumes 23. But this one is from October. And this is the Mole Pablano chocolate and chili stout at 8.5%. My God, ridiculous beer. And the volumes one, the one in the box that I reviewed, was the December version. But this one's slightly different. There's a chili. Oh, by the way, the name of the chili is Mole Pablano, something like that. Anyway, it says some information on the back, so let's have a look at this. So this was apparently back in October. So crisp air and falling leaves blanket the country. Spooky ghouls fill the streets and crackling bonfires ignite the night sky. Autumn is well on the way. Yes. Right, so this is basically about Mexico's legendary mole poblano sauce. Smoky cocoa, molasses, that kind of stuff. Smoky, warming chili notes, tempered with bittersweet cocoa and a sticky date. Nice for rich, indulgent stout with a little bite. Subtle fruity notes of red currant and anise from licorice provide depth of flavour, creamy, sumptuous mouthfeel. This is absolutely ridiculous. And it says enjoy on the 31st. I haven't done so, of course. Let us see. We can work out what's in this bad boy. So we got wheat and oats in this one. It looks like, I'm trying to see if we've got extra stuff in there. There's so much information that people put on the side of cans these days. Absolutely ridiculous. But that's the one we're going to try. This is the New Year's Eve beer. I was going to be looking. I told you I was going to be looking at my beer of the year, but yeah, the thing that was on Untapped, I should have screenshotted it while it was still there, because it's disappeared. And I thought that the thing that you could do, and it looks different on your phone to on the desktop icon thing. I looked at both and I can't find it. So from memory, I've drunk 650 beers odd this year. So we're kind of getting up to the two a day territory, which I don't think is too bad. Well over one a day. It's going to be what, one and a bit per day. Yeah, my maths isn't that great, but if you want to work it out, let everyone know down in the comments. What's my hit rate for beers? If it's six, I think it was 657, something like that, and then obviously divide by 365. If you want to be very accurate, add 0.24 and see where we get. You can even ask me, where does the 0.24 come from? Well, dear viewer, a year is not 365 days. It's only that 3 times, and then there's a leap year. So there's an extra day, isn't there? So you've got to add that in. And then every 100 years or every 1,000 years, there isn't one. So crazy. You can look it up. It does make sense. I've rescued my Vocation glass from last year. So this is not this year's one, but I don't care. Right. Let's pour some of this lovely beer, and we shall see where we get to. Let's see if I can force a bit of head on this bad boy. Did I tell you how strong it is? I think I did. 11.5. Yeah, there you go. So another absolutely ridiculous one. Oh, I better do a photo while I'm here. Have the Vocation in there. Let's tip it that way so you can read it. And there we go. One of those for you bad boys. Really lovely jet black stout. Headwise on the small glass, well over a finger's head. Not quite two, say 1.5. Um, Lovely, quite light. I mean, it's not pure white, but it is quite a light cream or tanned head, um, with a mixture of small bubbles and reasonably large bubbles, which is always a good sign. Getting a nice fruity but kind of sweet smell. Yeah, it is that kind of peppery, uh, maybe tomatoey kind of smell, which is unusual from a beer, but not unusual when you put fruit into a beer. You can get all sorts of weird reactions and stuff. There's a little bit of kind of earthy notes too. Would I call it spicy? Not really on the nose, but you never know. We might get this on the mouth. I'm hoping it isn't too ridiculously hot because I've had some chilly beers before. My God, they blow your socks off. Anyway, happy New Year, dear viewer. I really, really hope that 2024 is better than 2023. It's been just a ridiculously bad year with all sorts of craziness going on. Just want to put that stuff behind me, make good strides forward next year. This time next year, Rodney, will you be millionaires? Oh, lovely and gorgeous. I needn't have worried. There is a bit of chili, um, hits your tongue, bit spicy. In the aftertaste, it's there as well, but you do get a lovely, sweet, sort of lacto type stout. The wheats and oats give the creaminess, as I usually say when they contain them. A lot of beers contain wheat and oats these days, and I always try and point it out. As you well know, dear viewer, and if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, leave me a comment, whatever you want to do. Make sure you click like, do it now. It's unctuous, very unctuous. I am getting the alcohol on this beer. Um, a very strong candidate for beer of the year was the Sixpence beer, another one by Vocation, which was a 12.5% beer. If you want to see that review, go and check out my back catalogue. Only a few days ago, dear viewer, you'll find it. That was probably the best beer I've had this year. This one's quite up there. When you drink really strong beers, and I'm talking, maybe you don't think they're that strong, but any beer over 10% ABV is strong in my book. It's hidden really, really well, but I'm definitely getting the alcohol vapor coming out of my exhaled breath. And if you've ever been stopped by the police and breathalyzed, and I have to say that's not happened to me for about 20 years. Um, don't know where the police are. You don't seem to see them on the roads that much anymore. Um, but that's what the breathalyzers are testing for. It's the exhaled breath. If you've been drinking alcohol, obviously it hangs around in a vapor in your mouth. We even have up here, just above the word vocation, a lovely tide line, which is another, I think that's a good stamp of quality on a beer. Let's go for a second sip. Oh, I know what they mean by the spiciness. I'm not 100% sure if there is a licorice added to this beer. They said they've added licorice, so I'm not going to say they haven't. But there is something else there. This is a kind of winter warmer version of stout. So it's a strong stout. It's a milk stout, from what I gather. Definitely a sweet stout. And then they put some spices in there, along with the chilies. Wow, I mean, this is getting better as I'm drinking down the glass. This is a really good beer. Nicely woven together. The sweetness, the bitterness, the chocolate. Not getting much coffee. But in sweet stouts, I personally don't tend to get the coffee kind of thing from the malts. I much my tastes seem to be based around a chocolate kind of flavour. Um, pardon me, dear viewer, this bad boy is on fire. Yeah, I'm more attuned to chocolate. I do get coffee sometimes, but usually if it's really kind of strong, astringent kind of thing, that's not what this one is. And for an 11.5% beer, this is so well balanced. You could drink this and not feel it until you take your first couple of steps after standing out of your sitting position in your chair. Oh no, beginning to slur, Divya. What the hell? Must be because I've been drinking an 11.5% beer. But yeah, you get in trouble. You drink a couple of these and you wouldn't notice as soon as you stand up. Whoa, you fall over. That's happened to me before. A couple of times. Let's see what we get from the last sip. There is some more in the can, but I'm going to drink that off camera. You guys have got things to do. You've got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day to celebrate. So I raise my glass to you, dear viewer. Thank you for all the lovely comments throughout 2023. Hopefully, you'll be back with me through 2024. John Arami, be drinking some beers. Shamon. Oh, unctuousness. And on the V, on the way back, the V is crowned by lovely, it's almost the same kind of colour, although the V is a golden colour, but the shininess of the glass and all that kind of stuff makes the head match. It was a really good decision to get the glass out of the cupboard. Fantastic. Guys, this has been Unclejona. Please take care of each other. Take care of yourself. Have some beer. You've still got a few days before you have to go back to work. And I'll be back with another beer review real soon.